Hello and welcome to the 30s Comedy Podcast. My name is Clint.
Uncle Marcus.
Hello. Dude, what's up?
Doing good.
Oh,
I'm doing good. I have had a wonderful day today.
yeah?
I'm very excited to get in here and talk. But how are you doing?
Well, this week, I don't know what it was about this week. I think it was because I said, I need a second job.
Mm-hmm.
I need something to just have more income because subbing doesn't seem that stable right now. So I went in to a restaurant and I was like, I'm coming back. And they were like, yeah, you are. And they were like, can you close tonight? I was like, sure. And it was just
Day of?
Well, a week later, yeah.
Okay.
But it just felt like
you come in for a job and they just throw an apron at you.
Just say, hey,
we just need anybody back there.
I'm gonna be taking the food out.
Yeah.
That's me. I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I got this.
Yeah.
So just exuding confidence, like just a weird confidence boost this week. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
just
good.
like, I got this.
Yeah.
How's it going?
You're feeling good about yourself.
Yeah. Feel pretty good.
I'm doing great. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, listeners, but yesterday was my birthday.
Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
Woo!
One more turn around the sun.
Mm-hmm.
One more year into the 30s. And
there it is.
I had a great day. I'm not a birthday guy. I don't want like a celebration. I don't want people doing the whole cake. I don't want buying me drinks or anything. But coincidentally, a few months prior, I had got tickets for us to go see Chris DiStefano at the Brea Improv, and it just happened to fall on my birthday.
Man.
And he's there for 3 days, and I was like, well, the 17th, it's a Wednesday, which perfect, should be less people, it won't be too wild. And it happens to be my birthday that day. So, I ended up buying a booth for 4 of us. It only ended up being 3 of us. And then I bought tickets to the meet and greet afterwards. And if you never bought tickets before at a comedy club for VIP and meet and greets, it's kind of expensive. But I just kind of was like, well, I like him. I'm a fan, and it is my birthday, so maybe I'll spend a little bit more money.
Yeah, and what we discovered with buying the booth, reserving a booth, you get a $200 credit.
Yes, yeah,
and we're with just us too. The first time when we did it with Christina P.
That's right, because we saw Christina P. at the Irvine Improv a couple months ago, and I bought those tickets too, and I just bought them because I'm a huge fan of hers, and I just wanted like premium experience, seating experience. I don't have to worry about getting there early, because if you just buy general admission, you have to get there early and wait in line and hopefully get a decent seat. And I was just like, fuck it, I'm buying a booth.
Yeah. And
I didn't know that you get that $200 credit for food and drinks.
Yeah.
And so we got there, it's in the Irvine Spectrum, but we got there early, remember?
Yeah, we foolishly got food before it. That was so stupid.
We got food and drinks before that. We had a good amount of drinks before. Yeah. Like, I was feeling pretty good.
I was full. Like, I had a good amount of food.
And it was directly after we went from attached to the back of the Improv was it Umami or Eureka?
Umami.
Yeah. So a burger place. And we were done. You just walk around the corner into the Improv and walked right in because we had VIP. And get to the table, and our server, waitress is an antiquated term, everybody. These just say servers nowadays.
Yeah, it's true.
Unless you're middle America in a diner somewhere.
Yeah, progressive. Wow.
Yeah. Whoa. So our server comes to the table and is like, is there only 2 of you guys? And we're like, yeah, the other 2 couldn't make it. And I was like, there's no other 2 coming. But
did not invite anybody
I didn't invite anyone else. No. But the other 2 couldn't make it. She's like, okay, well, you guys have $200 to get through. So what do you want, basically?
Yeah.
Or no. She was like, you guys have $200 to get through. Are you going to be able to do that? And I was like, no problem. Foolishly, I told her no problem. And
didn't even make it real dent.
We didn't even fucking dent that $200 because we didn't order any food.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're just getting drinks. And again, already feeling kind of good. And I don't know if you've never been to a comedy club, and you can order beers and stuff, but if you order anything other than a beer, like a spirit, and they give you a cocktail or well drink, whatever, those bartenders have a heavy pour.
Yeah, it's not drinks. Even. Yeah,
it's like
you can't compare it to another restaurant.
Yeah, when I was regularly bartending where I had to make cocktails and stuff, I thought I had a heavy pour just because I didn't want to keep making drinks. So I'm like, you have one, and I don't want to keep doing shit. These bartenders are not joking around.
Yeah.
So I believe that night I was just drinking Makers on the Rocks because that's kind of my go-to now. I don't really want anything else in it, and I got very drunk.
Yeah.
And
that's a good tip though. Comedy clubs, they will do a heavy pour if you have liquor. Pour.
So you don't
heavy pour.
If you feel the need to, quote pre-game, there's no need to do that at a comedy club.
Please don't do it.
Yeah, you'll get your money's worth from the drinks there.
Yeah.
And we ended up not even denting that $200 credit, and I had to tell our server, like, can you just charge me for anything so I can at least tip you? Because she was going to drop the check and was like, you guys, there's no balance on here, so you guys are good. And I was like, well, how do I tip you? And she's just like, I can charge you for a soda. Perfect, do that.
There it is.
So how that relates to the Brea Improv, though, is that it was the same situation, but there were 3 of us this time. And we did get 2 drinks before at the place down the street. And we got some appetizers, but like we were still going to order food and drinks at the Improv. And we still didn't get to the $200.
Man, I got sliders.
Yeah.
Skylar got pizza. Pizza is pretty big.
We each got an entree.
Nachos.
We each had food to eat.
We tried.
We also ordered, you guys had 3 beers. I had 2, again, Makers on them. No, it was something else. Woodford Reserve, I think.
Woodford, because it was like $13.
Yeah, I got 2 of those on the rocks, and I even told myself, too, I'm not going to drink because I need to be coherent for the meet and greet. And so I stopped at 2 drinks, and you guys had 3, but yeah, we still didn't get to that limit. And it was the same situation where our server was like, you guys are good. And I was like, can you just charge me something so I can tip you? And he's like, I can charge you 1 cent. I was like, okay. So I gave him my card, and when he charged it, it popped up on my phone because that's how I get my notifications when I use my credit card as 1 cent.
Wow.
Like, okay. So it was fun though. Again, we saw Chris Stefano. That was my first time seeing him do stand-up live. Seen a special on Netflix, and I've just been a big fan of the podcasts that he's on. Mm-hmm. He has his own. He has one with Sal Volcano called Hey Babe. He had one not a long time ago, like 2 years ago. History Hyenas.
Yeah, pre-pandemic.
Yeah, with Giannis.
Yeah.
And that was a good one because it was actually like educational.
History. Yeah, he loves history.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
It's shocking how much he knows about history.
That's cool.
And it was a great show. I had a good time. So I'm a big fan. You're a newer-ish fan
of him.
Yeah. And then we had our other friend with us who knows nothing about it. So it was kind of like 3 very different opinions.
Yeah, perspectives.
Yeah, perspectives. And I had like a unique one that all the material that I heard on stage, pretty much all of it, maybe 1 or 2 things. No. I have to say like 90% of it, I have heard before on on various podcasts of his own or when he's been on other ones. And it was kind of cool to hear it for an audience, like a live audience, and how certain things were tweaked and said differently. And what did you think of the show?
Because I feel like a question for us, for you, would be like, do we think like it's good to listen to all the podcasts? Because then when you get to the show, it's like, oh, that's like a lot of the material. Because I remember Seinfeld on a podcast was like, he's like, oh, don't give away your material on a podcast. Save that for the show. And that's how I kind of felt like, oh, it was almost better that I didn't listen to everything. Because of course I listened to him on Rogan and Two Bears One Cave. And then yesterday, because I had time, I listened to him on Whitney Cummings. And then with on Your Mama's House, Christina P. and Tom. And I felt like, oh, like I have a good amount of like background on his life to know that like, oh, his dad is like not mafia, but mafia. And like, he's got some questionable things. Cause I loved it. Cause I haven't heard all those stories before. I heard the coffee story and I knew that was in Seattle, and then he changed it. Cause I thought that's great. Cause like I always order black coffee black.
Yeah, you don't think it's ever going to be like a thing. Like, oh, we shouldn't say black.
Without cream?
Like, yeah, it's like...
You're also...
It's like, clearly I'm ordering a coffee. I'm not ordering a person. You know? It's not
I'd like to debate that saying without cream is just dirtier than saying black. Black is powerful, right? That's what I would think. Just black. Clearly that like barista didn't think so. Like my coffee right here. Like, it's the strongest coffee. I don't want it weak. Cream. That's like, don't whitewash my coffee, please.
Yeah. Back to what you said. I still had a good time last night. It didn't take away from the show at all. And an element for me was kind of the thing, like, so Jerry Seinfeld said, don't give away your material on your podcast. It's like, well, your fans are there to hear you, and then they also want that experience when they buy tickets to see your show. So they're still going to show up anyways, like I did. They're still gonna be there because they like you. Yeah. And then like there was somebody he was doing a little bit of crowd work, and then there was a guy right next to us, right in front of us. He was a little bit older, but it's like he was like, "Oh, you're not a fan of the podcast, are you?" And he's like, "No." Like, but he still came out to the show. Yeah. So it's still going to be that mix of people that just want to go see a comedy show mixed in with your fans. Yeah. So I don't really think, and again, my experience of the show was I had a good time. It didn't take anything away from the show. So you're still going to get your fans showing up even if they've already heard your jokes on stage, or I'm sorry, on a podcast. They're still going to show up to hear it on stage. So no, I don't think it took away at all.
Okay, cool. Because I was kind of worried because there were moments that I was looking at you.
I know, and I was
kind of seemed like you weren't enjoying it as much as I was.
I know, because I saw you kept looking at me after you said a joke. And I was like, I'm watching the show. It
was because you were like, I've heard this before. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I didn't mean it in a bad way. I just I was like, I know what he's gonna say. I've heard this on, like, and I meant it in that way.
Okay.
But yeah, I was pretty like stone faced watching the show.
Yeah, you're kind of like judging the whole time, that's okay because you're the big fan.
It was more like judgment is the right critique, maybe, or just I was kind of watching and absorbing it, and whatever. I was having a good time. Mm-hmm. I was happy to be there, and I was mostly thinking about the meet and greet afterwards.
I know.
I was like,
do you want to tell him how that was kind of a letdown?
In the moment, it was a letdown, but then later it turned out being okay.
That's because you did your thing.
Well, I did my thing. I put myself out there. And took a chance. Yeah. And we'll get to it. So yeah, I like I said before, I paid for the meet and greet for the show, and I've only been to one other meet and greet, and that's when we saw Annie, and it wasn't a paid meet and greet, so it's just like whoever gets in there first gets to meet and greet, and then maybe buy some merch and whatever. So, and that experience was very personal. Like, she was talking to us, and I had that connection as well of being like a fan, and I was like, hey, I was on this thing that you were doing, and she remembered me from that. So we had like a connection. So something to play off of. With Chris, I paid for that meet and greet, and then prior to that, on his Instagram, he's in California, and he was like, he went to Disneyland yesterday or the day before, and he was the day before because it was before the show. Mm-hmm. He had put a story post saying, my kids want to go back to Disney. If anyone knows has any connections, hit me up. And so I replied to the story. I slid in those DMs, and I was like, hey, I work for the company. I might be able to get you in. And he replied back and saying like, okay, well, I said that, and I said, I'll also be at your meet and greet tonight after the show. And he replied back saying, okay, let's talk. Right? Like 3 exclamation points. So he sounded excited. Nice. And so we get to the show's over. It's a great show. I'm glad you guys had fun at the show. That was one of the things I was like, I hope they have fun. I knew you'd have fun because you like comedy, but then our buddies, it was like, I hope he likes the show because, it'd suck if he didn't. Yeah. So it was a great show. We all had a good time. And then we go line up for the meet and greets. And we're like not that far back from the front, but like I started to notice, the line's going very quickly. And you can see on stage too, kind of what's happening. It's really just taking a picture, next person, take a picture, next person. And I was like, oh no.
It's like a $200 picture.
Yeah. It was like, I'm not going to have my moment to have a talk. Cause okay, before going into this, again, because I'm a huge fan, I watched his most recent podcast. And like, I had like prepped myself for stuff. Like they talked about Golden Girls on that podcast. So I wore a Golden Girls shirt. He's a New York comic. And I support New York comics, and I want them to come out to the West Coast more often. So I wore my my Yankees hat that I bought at Yankee Stadium. So it's like, oh, New York, you just talked about Golden Girls. Like it's, I have my in for conversation, plus the Disney thing. So I'm starting to get kind of worried. Like, is this going to be a picture or what? So like I go out on the stage and like shake his hand. I was like, hey, great show. And then he like does the thing for a picture, and like it was funny because the guy taking the pictures, he caught it on the pictures. I was like, oh, by the way, I'm the guy about Disney. And he was like, oh, and like he stops and you can see us look at each other. And the guy got a photo of it. So I'll have to put it up somewhere.
Oh, nice.
He takes the photos and then it's like, he's like, oh, I was like, where can I send you the tickets? Because I know I'm being kind of like ushered because you guys are going to come in and do your thing with him. And he's just like, oh, send them to my email. It was one of those things where it's like, send it to my email. And it's like, okay. We're just like, it's kind of separated.
And I was like, why is he getting pulled away?
Yeah. And I was like, I
want to take the photo with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. I just like, just the way it worked, it was, I could have stood there. I think I still could have stood there and been like, let's just keep talking. But like the way it was just, everything was moving. I was like, I guess my time's done.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any time to say everything I wanted to say. I didn't say anything except for like Disney, and that's when it was like, oh, this is somebody I can talk to.
Because you said that, and then they're like, oh, you come up, and I was like,
yes.
What's the email?
Yeah. And
okay, I've got it in case Marcus didn't get it.
Okay, yeah,
and that was it.
When I got pulled away, like he told me the email, and then like I walked away down the stairs, and I immediately forgot what it was, and I was like, oh fuck. He said Christy. I'm not going to say it on here, but
yeah, it was too quick. I was like, oh, this is my job now.
And I was like, fuck, it's got to be this, right? This has got to be the email. So I didn't get to do it or do the whole conversation, but like afterwards, I still had like a bit of a high about it. Like we ended up going next door to the fucking Yard House.
Yeah,
where it was just like we're having a good time. Like like after a show, it's always like you always feel kind of high because like the energy you get off of laughing all night, and then. Like for me, the bonus of like being a fan, and then like I got to like touch the comedian and like got a picture, so it was feeling really good, and it was a great birthday, like right into a birthday. And so this morning, the day afterwards, I debated even because I told him I'd send him the tickets. I debated even doing it because I was like, I don't know if he's even gonna like because we didn't have a chance to talk about it. It was just like I don't know how serious this is, so I ended up sending him tickets this morning. Because I mean, about working for Disney, we're able to send out we have a few limited tickets that we can give out to anyone we want.
Yeah, and you had a lot saved up.
I have a lot. There's ones that roll over,
and they don't really expire.
They do, but it's like years after you get them. So if you don't use them, which I never use them because I don't know anyone that wants to go to Disney. Because who wants to go to Disneyland? Fuck that place. Unless you're Chris Stefano.
Yeah, let's go.
So I emailed him tickets this morning. I emailed him 6 tickets, and in the subject line, 6 separate emails because you have to do 6. You can't just attach all 6 to one. You have to send out 6 separate ones. So I sent out 6 separate emails with the subject line just saying Disney Tiki Wikis, and in the email, like it has the ticket, and then all I wrote was like, "Thanks for the show last night." No, like long whatever. I'm a great big fan. I'm on the Patreon. Blah 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 blah. Which I'm on the Patreon too. I'm on the top tier in the Patreon, which is $25 a month. I'm not a fake fan. I'm a real fan. And so I sent him out, and I was like, "Well, hope he has a good time." And he emailed me back like 10 minutes later, and was like, he said, "Thank you for the tickets." And like he did like a good message that I'm going to keep private because it's my message, but like a thoughtful message, and then was like also like tagged onto it. If you want any tickets for shows that I'm doing, or any comedians that I know that I can get for you, let me know and I'll get them for you. And he had also asked about like how these tickets work and all that too. And we had a good back and forth this morning for a couple of hours through emails. And I was like, this is way better than the meet and greet because now I actually have like a personal personal, and like I was telling him like what you have to do, like where you can use these tickets. If you don't want to use them now, you can use them later in this place, blah blah blah. And it ended up being better than a meet and greet.
Yeah,
because I had a nice like good back and forth for a few hours, and then like now we have each other's contact information. And I know this is probably going to come up on his podcast that he records when he gets back home, because he just talks about his life. So he's going to talk about his shows in Brea, talk about going to Disneyland again. Maybe I'll get a shout out.
Maybe
on Chrissy Chaos about shout out to Marcus for getting me into Disney. So it ended up being even better than the meet and greet. So I don't know. We talked about it as like expectations, right? Of just like setting expectations for yourself, and even if they don't get met, you never know what can happen afterwards. Because it was a bit of a bummer that I didn't get to have like a proper in-person meet and greet, or proper in my mind. That could just be how it is for a lot of people. But it ended up turning into something even better afterwards.
Yeah.
So, and who knows, like later, if ever comes back to California and his kids want to go to Disneyland again, or like he knows somebody, be like, hey, he can get in contact, or he can have someone else get in contact, and it's like I just made a fucking networking connection now.
Yeah, and I like that, because I would share Disneyland with anybody, because I like Disneyland, and that was what it was when I was at the WB tour. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, well, I want to share that place with you too, and like with email, I feel like email is a really good professional way to go about it.
Yeah,
and the way that you did it was good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just I just put myself out there, because I sent them out and I was like, nothing happens from this. That's fine. But I didn't even have to do that. I didn't even have to send those tickets, because it was such a quick exchange. It's like, he's not going to remember this. But then he did. So, I mean, and the thing about working for the company, for Disney, is like, I take it for granted that like this is some place that people want to go.
Yeah.
Or they want this to be part of their lives in some way. So, and it means nothing to me. It cost me nothing to get them into the park. And while if like he was to pay for that, or if anyone was to pay for that, it's like a big expense and like a big deal. And it's like, I could use that to like, one, to network, which I just did, or just to like, I've done this before too, of just people want to go and it's like, but they can't afford it, or you know, they don't want to pay for that expense. Like, yeah, go, by all means, go ahead. Here's some tickets. And yeah, I just had a great day today, because that was this morning, and I was just on a high this morning.
Damn, like, I'm glad I listened to the email.
Yeah,
that he gave me.
You listened to the email?
Well, I'm glad that I was like, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
Okay, did you get it? And then you walked away, you didn't remember.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's right.
I was like, oh, my job here is done.
Yeah, I think I would have found it. I could have found it on the Patreon or like somewhere, because there's contact information and like YouTube videos and stuff as well. But
yeah, that's a good bit, that everybody has like a normal Gmail. Usually,
just their name and a
probably
Gmail.
Find somebody.
Yeah,
on Gmail.
Yeah, it was cool. Brea Improv's always nice. You know, it's a good. I think it was you asked me. It was like, is this like a popular improv? The Brea Improv, and I was like, absolutely, it's a popular improv. That's why all the big comedians come to this place, because their fans that don't want to drive into LA can come to Brea instead, and not have to worry about parking, not have to worry about homeless and violence, because I don't give a shit about that stuff, but a lot of people do, and it's just closer. Like, say if you live out in the Inland Empire, it's like you can drive 30 minutes to Brea, or you can drive an hour into LA and deal with all the other fucking bullshit. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I like the Brea Improv. It's such an easy experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, same like for Irvine too. It's also like, it's like Brea, Irvine, LA. It's like a triangle. So if you're east, you don't have to go all the way into LA. And the big comics always play Brea and Irvine, because they draw the crowds. Because last night the room looked sold out. When I went to the restroom, we sat right in front, so we couldn't see behind us. And when I went up to the restroom, like, holy shit, this room's sold out. Like, every seat is taken in here. It's like, people want to come there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brea Improv is a nice room. I see a lot of big comedians come in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at first I was like, oh, the meet and greet's kind of a bummer. Because for me, I usually talk to them somehow after, but it's like, oh, they're here too. Mm-hmm. Oh. What's up?
Yeah.
Oh, picture? Maybe if we've like talked.
You always get a picture.
Yeah. They're usually pretty cool about it.
Maybe that's the majority of the meet and greets.
Just pics, yeah.
Yeah, just picture and move on. Maybe, I guess it depends on the comedian or if it's a paid meet and greet.
Yeah. Pay for it.
Yeah, I had a great time. Can't wait to go back.
Yeah, he had some pretty awesome jokes.
Yeah, it's a good opener too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Halloween's coming up.
Ooh. That's the next holiday coming up.
Yeah. I say that because next week we have episode 13, which is unlucky, but we might do something spooky next week. But yeah, there's a lot of horror nights. You ever go to horror nights?
Yeah.
At Universal Studios?
Because Warner Brothers, we had the horror made here.
Yes, yeah.
So I worked that a couple times.
I did that the one year.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Universal's better at it.
Yeah, well,
they've done it for a long time.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah. They have the budget too. I've been getting emails and seeing ads on Instagram for horror nights, and I used to go every year, and then obviously didn't go for 2020, and then 2021, they opened it back up again, but I just didn't I don't know. I didn't have the steam or the energy to be like, yeah, we'll go. And like the group that I go with, we have like a consistent group of maybe like 5 or 6 people, and then we'll have like rotational people that come in and out with the group, and none of the people on the solid chain really wanted to go. Yeah. But this year they want to go, and I'm probably gonna go this year. Probably go next month.
You should.
Yeah, they're heading into fucking.
When do
Halloween.
Those start?
Starts September. There's some dates in September.
Damn.
And then it ends. Usually goes like a couple days after Halloween as well. I don't know about this year. Yeah, we're already in a fucking spooky season.
What are my notes on that? For kids, I mean, does it matter what day Halloween is?
If you're an adult, no. Because it falls on a Monday, right?
It's on a Monday.
Yeah, who cares? You can't have
Who knows?
For kids, maybe, because they have to go to school.
School Tuesday.
But if you're an adult, you can do whatever you want the next day. It doesn't matter if it's on a Monday.
Do you dress up?
No.
If you did dress up, what would you dress up as?
Something simple. It'd be a t-shirt. Yeah. The last time I dressed up for Halloween, I think was 6th grade or 7th grade. And I was a ghost.
6th grade or 7th grade?
Yeah, and I was a
None
ghost.
as an adult?
No.
Never?
No.
Yeah, there's no chance?
I'm not saying there's no chance. I just don't want to do it. It's just like, it seems like a hassle, and you have to make you guess you can buy it, but you have to think of a good costume. And I don't know, who cares? I'm not like a festive person anyway. So the last time I dressed up for Halloween was in 6th grade, and I went as a ghost, and it like that's a simple costume. And I remember we bought the costume, and it was basically just a sheet with eye holes cut into it. And I remember seeing it in the store, and I don't think it was with my dad. It was one of his wives. And just like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, just be a ghost. I'm like, all right.
Just be a ghost.
And it was just like the lamest costume. We went trick-or-treating in it. And it was at that time where I realized, yeah, I don't think this is for me.
6th grade?
Yeah. Well, that's already kind of old for trick-or-treating and dressing up, right?
Oh, well, I think there's a gap. You know, you do it by like 6th grade, and then you're kind of like, I don't need to do this for high school, until there's the point where you're going to parties where people are more sluttier in the costume area.
Yeah.
And then you get back to dressing up.
That's the last time to dress up and go trick-or-treating. Yeah.
Well, then it turns into just parties.
Right. Because you can still dress up, and then, I mean, I get that. I get you dressing up and going out and having a good time. Because I like to do that for just like a dinner party. I'll get dressed nice. And we had like a classy Christmas one time, and I turned the fuck up, and I looked amazing, better than you guys.
Whoa.
But yeah, the whole costume thing, because then you have to make sure it's a comfy costume because you're wearing it all night. And because like as the night goes on, you'll see people like take off their wigs or like certain parts of it, and it's just like, now you just look like an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's the last time I dressed up. And remember that one time our friend threw a costume party at their apartment? You remember, right? For Halloween?
Yeah.
And leading up to the party, I didn't want to. It was sold to me that I did not have to dress up for this party if I wanted to go. So the person throwing the party was like, "You have to. Is it going to be a costume contest?" And it's like it's part of it. And I was like, I think I could pass because I don't want to dress up. It's not really my thing. And they're like, you know what? It doesn't matter. You don't have to wear a costume. Just come to the party anyway, and it'll be fine. I was like, all right. So I think I ended up wearing like a horror themed shirt, so I wasn't completely not in costume. I remember it was after I had worked, and it was kind of a long drive. That's when I was living out here. Mm-hmm. So it was like a 30-minute drive maybe to get to their apartment. And I get there and knock on the door, and the host opens the door in full costume. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And like I start to walk inside, and he was like, "You can't come inside without a costume." I was like,
what?
It's like, what? It was like, you're supposed to be in costume. It was like, you dickhead said I didn't have to wear a costume to come to this party. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to the party. And they just made like a big deal out of it. And it was one of those things where it's like, are you joking or are you being serious? Because I said I didn't want to come. I just worked. I drove 30 minutes to get here. What are you doing? And they eventually let me in, and I was the only one not in a costume, which I'm fine with. I don't give a fuck. I only knew like you guys anyway. I didn't know anyone else there, so fuck them. I don't care what they think. And none of you guys cared. So, but yeah, I was like, why would, like, I understand why I dress up, but if like who cares if someone else does not want to dress up?
Yeah, if they showed up, you should probably let them in.
Especially like, it's not like I just showed up and surprise, I'm not in costume.
Yeah.
We agreed upon before me coming that okay. I didn't have to wear a costume.
What was our friend dressed up as that day?
I don't remember. Something with a beard, I think.
Uh-huh.
Looked kind of like Jesus.
Oh.
But it couldn't. It was Flash not Gordon? Jesus. I don't remember.
I don't know.
I don't give a shit. I don't remember anyone's costume. Except for yours, because you sent me a picture afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Picture
Memorable.
Of you partially not in costume.
I somehow get shirtless. I don't know.
It was the bottom half.
So dressing up. Dressing up.
But go on, yeah.
So it's not for everybody.
No, do you like to dress up for Halloween?
When I dress up, I want to be able to go into like a store and look normal. Mm-hmm. So usually something classy, like Mad Hatter, James Bond, Justin Timberlake.
Mad Hatter is classy.
Well, it's like you wear like a vest. You don't
just because he has a bow tie doesn't mean he's classy.
Well, you don't bring the hat in. I'm not like trying to paint my face. He's all
out on tea, and he was falling out of his chair and eating cakes.
Yeah, I mean that's on brand. If you're like also drinking,
it's not classy.
I try to be like characters where like they're already a bit tipsy, so that if someone sees me, it's like, he's in character. He's in character.
He's really dedicated to his costume.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like Jack Sparrow, the big one. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Funny. Speaking of Jack Sparrow, they have him in costumes. Have him as a character sometimes at Disneyland or Disney World. Mm-hmm. I've never seen him, but I've seen videos online, and it's like, I wonder, did you just have to get drunk, like, and then just go out there and be like,
if you're the face character guy?
Yeah, because he doesn't have a head. Like, you know how the costume once just put on a big giant fake head and go out there and fuck around. It's like, this guy's an actual human. Person, and you have to act drunk.
He would have to, yeah.
Well, that's the character. That's how Jack Sparrow. He's always drinking rum. Where's the rum go? Yeah, and stumbling around. Shit. So I don't know. Like, it'd be like under the table kind of thing, or it'd be like, before I go out, let me just have like a little flat. Give me to a shot or something. I can really get into character. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing, but I should find out.
They have to act it. They have to do it.
Well, yeah, it's acting. All those characters are the princesses, whatever. Like, they are performing.
Yeah,
I think some of them are aspiring actor.
Oh, they're definitely.
Yeah,
because I've met them.
Okay, I've never met them. I've only interacted with them.
So you never. Because what I want to talk to them because there's certain characters where like, oh, you died in that movie, but you're walking around here, and we're supposed to just act like it's normal, like you're normally gonna walk around. Because I want to know what they say. Like, what is their reasoning? Like,
there's got to be kids that ask them, like,
Yeah.
What happened when you fell off the cliff?
I'm all right.
I popped back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever make a wish before?
Yeah. What they didn't show you is when they pushed the boulder off of me, like the witch from Snow White.
Yeah.
It's I was fine, guys.
You didn't see you missed the part where I'm just gorgeous the whole time?
Yeah.
I didn't miss when I cut my hair?
You were saying, like, because you've met them. I've never spoken one-to-one, face-to-face, but I have interacted with them before in, like, the commissary area.
Yeah.
Backstage. Well, interacting is, like, even that's not really true. I've just been around them because they're in there sometimes, too. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, they're not very nice people. they're wannabe actors. Yeah, they're kind of pretentious and like every time I've seen them interact with like the people, the cashiers, or like the people who make when they're ordering food, they're never really friendly about it, and they're kind of rude in those interactions.
Yeah,
I wonder why. Like, I mean, not to brag, I make more money than you do here, and like you're not getting paid much to do that job. They have the princess complex. Yeah. Like, well, I'm in a princess dress all day, so I am a princess. That's not how it works. I think he gets them. They've got some. So some have it. You're in a cheap Halloween costume all day. Yeah, because when I worked there, I recognized one girl from high school, and you could tell she like recognized me back. Yeah, but she made no intention to try to talk to me. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Cinderella. Goddamn princesses. Mm-hmm. I think they're going away soon. What do you mean? Oh, I've heard stuff about with the way the world is today about them, like the princesses specifically, either just not being there anymore or like changing, like the fundamentals of how they come out and what they do and what they say and how they look are going to change a little bit. Like what? Like, because that archetype of person, of woman, is kind of like in today's world, like negative. Well, some of them are. Some are. That's why I'm saying I don't know and like how it's going to be changed, the context of those traits, because they could still be like Cinderella could still show up and she's still in a blue dress and she's still like doing her thing, but they'll be like, but she's also like she doesn't need a man, like like that kind of thing. It's like, oh, she's choosing to lose her shoes and have someone put it on for her. Yeah, but she doesn't have to. Well, Cinderella, she was a lonely girl. She at least needs like a human. Plenty of rats and birds. Yeah, these are rats. They knew how to talk and they took good care of her. Yeah, but companionship, I get it. I could talk to rats all the time, but it's like I'm still lonely at that point. But there is a trend in Disney movies now where they overcompensate it. So before they have I'm a damsel, I died and you kissed me and you brought me back to life. Now it's like, I'm a freaking warrior and I'm going to go conquer the ocean. I got this big, buff Dwayne The Rock Johnson guy who can shapeshift. I'm just using him. I'm just using him to get what I want. Yeah. He's just a plot device now. Look at that. Who's the plot device now? Not me. I'm this buff 16-year-old chick. I'm going to go conquer the ocean. She was pretty boxy. I didn't see the Raya. Was it Raya or Raya? I don't know. I didn't watch it. Right. I didn't see that because I was like, oh, she's badass. Yeah, she doesn't need anybody. It's not even like a Disney. She doesn't need anybody. Doesn't need anybody. And then there's Encanto where it's like, I didn't see that one either. Oh, it's about family. And yet it's still like, oh, one of them's getting married. Yeah. Who is the alcoholic in the family? Do they show that? In that one? Well, there's one that like is like excommunicated from the family. So you could say that's the alcoholic one. Bruno. That's one they don't talk about, right? Yeah. But it's really just that like it's just a mishap of communication. That's about it. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been on the Disney movie circuit in a long time because it's just the older I get, and I've always been this way, but it just gets worse and worse as I'm so sensitive to cheese of like really corny shit. And I feel like with Disney movies, especially the Pixar ones, it's like stop being so soapy and so cheesy, and like they put the music on too that it's like they want to get a reaction out of you, and it's just like you don't have to do all this to just make somebody feel something. You can just do something real and like just have an event, and I don't know. It's just I'm not down for that. They really want you to cry. Yeah, they do. They want you to cry, and it's like you don't have to put on the sappy music and have some like zoom in on someone's eyes really slowly, and then have them look off in the distance, whatever, to like make somebody cry.
Yeah.
At that point, it's manipulation. It's like just have something happen that we can all relate to, and just have it be real.
Yeah.
And then that'll pull at people's emotions more, I think, instead of like, because I always roll my eyes when stuff like that happens. It's like, oh fuck. I think the last time I did that was Toy Story 3 or 4?
Probably 3.
I don't know. Yeah. Is there 4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't see the 4th one. But the 3rd one, when they're all like going to die at the end, and
that's pretty graphic.
All a conveyor belt, and then it was so like I started laughing because they're all just like they all like hold hands afterwards, and it's just slowly moving into the fire. I'm like, this is fucking lame. Like, what are we doing here? Just if you're gonna burn them, throw them in the fire already. We know they're gonna get saved. We know the movie's not gonna end with them being thrown in the fire. So like, why are we watching this? It's totally manipulative, and also it doesn't mean anything because we know it's not actually going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of too far. God. Also because they had the toy aliens save them with a claw crane.
I don't even remember how it got saved. That's the only part of that movie I remember because I was like, all right, fuck this movie. I was already kind of, again, I'm not really into like the kiddie movies anyway, but at that moment I was like, is this over yet? Like, come on.
No, I was like, are they really going to do this? They're really going to, oh my God.
I never had that thought because they're not really going to do it. They're not going to throw those kids they're not going to throw the toys into hell because that's what that scene was supposed to be, is they're being thrown into hell, into a fiery pit. It's like, they're not throwing these fucking Woody into hell. It's not going to happen. And if they did do that, good on you, because that would be a way better ending, and I would have respected the fuck out of that movie. Wow. Like, you know what? These kids want to be sad. We'll make them fucking sad.
They did it.
Throw those fucking toys into hell, and movie's over, guys. Not everything's happy. There's bad shit in the world, and it's gonna happen to you too. So you could be thrown into hell one day.
Get used to it.
Yeah, that would have been a way better conclusion to that series, instead of like, oh, they all get saved, and now Andy goes to college, and someone else gets the toys. Like, fuck off.
I think more live action movies are for kids, and more animated movies are for adults now.
Really?
Yeah. Because look at every Marvel movie, you'll get all the freaking nerds complaining about everything left and right. Like, oh, this CGI doesn't look good. You know who doesn't care? The 8-year-olds. They don't care. They're
or
people,
me. I don't care.
Or
either.
you. You're an 8-year-old at heart, and you don't care.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm my own age at heart.
You're just a little 8-year-old.
I'm a
little
8-year-old Marcus who fucking hates everybody.
There's a sweet little 8-year-old right inside there, right inside you.
My 8-year-old self was not sweet.
Because then there's movies like Soul from Pixar. I'm like, this is a direct attack to me. There's no way. There is no way that a kid. There's no way this is for a kid. There's no way. The guy dies. He's dead. He becomes a little fluffy cloud. Sure. That might be for a kid. Maybe. But it's like a mask. It's just a little kid mask that they put on. It's like a Halloween mask they put on. And it's really just about existentialism, midlife crisis, and how following your dreams is probably not going to work.
See, I think that stuff, though, you don't see it if you're a kid. Because, like, you can still, as a kid, you can still watch the movie. That's a good example of, like, a good movie, is that there's something for everybody in there. So you see it and see all that stuff, whatever you just said, and then a kid can watch it and be like, oh, look at this, playing music, and there's a cloud. I haven't seen it, but I know it's about jazz. And they're like, oh, this music's good, and there's a little, you just said cloud, there's a cloud floating around, and that's cute, and like, they have a good time. So
I don't know. I don't know any kid who's like, yeah, Soul is my movie. I think it's for grown-ups.
I don't know any kids, so I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think, like, when I think about, so I said it on here before, but it, like, the Boy Meets World people are doing a podcast, and they talk about the show and how it's back then in the early mid 90s when it started, they had to make the show to have, in order for people to watch it, they had to have something for everybody in it. So for little kids, because they were talking about season 1, I guess, but they talked about like overall, but the kids watch it and they're laughing at the jokes, whatever. teenagers are watching it because like when they get a little bit older, like dating and like hooking up, and just like, teenage love life, that's a big part of the show. Teenagers watch that and they're like, oh, like they connect to that. Yeah. And then the older people, and this applies to me now, when I watch it, I'm looking at the adults on the show and they're like, because like they'll be teaching quotes life lessons to these kids, and me and telling them like you're gonna get disappointed sometimes. That's how life works. And it's like, I never noticed that when I was a kid. It was specifically the episode with the grandma in season 1, and like she gets there and she doesn't necessarily turn up like she disappoints the kid, Corey. And it's like the parents have to let him know like that's gonna happen sometimes, and it's fine. Like people are just gonna not turn up sometimes, and that's okay. And it's like, yeah, that's absolutely true. And like that's something that I connected to watching the show back again. It was like, yeah, I wouldn't see that when I was a kid, but I've learned that lesson now, and that's just how the world works. And I think like in order to have a successful project, well, now it's different because there's so much on streaming and stuff. You can find like whatever you want, what age you are. But I'm saying like, I think a good movie or a show, they're able to hit all those things. And I haven't seen Soul, but I mean, if you connected to it, I don't know if it was made for you, but maybe
it was made for me.
Maybe they made it for that same reason. But you're seeing that like, this is for me. But then a little kid will see it and was like, I love jazz and I love clouds. This is for me.
I'd love to meet a kid who says Soul is my movie.
They're out there. We'll find one for you. I mean, I know you think you know all the kids, but we'll find a kid out there for you.
It's just the data's not there.
I don't know.
The science
Maybe there is kids out there that like it.
That'd be good.
There's a lot of weird kids out there. I was one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I was watching horror movies and stuff when I was 6. It's like, yeah, blood. They're getting scared. So
I'm glad I didn't watch them as a kid, because now I can see it and go, oh.
But there's so much fun when you're a kid because it feels wrong.
And
it feels like you shouldn't be doing it, but like, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. I don't care. One of the things about not having babysitters really when you're a kid is that you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, my babysitter was a TV. We watched all kinds of shit. Used to stay up late and watch like the porns, like the softcore porn stuff when we were like 8.
Okay.
Like, what's going on? We can't stop watching. There's all kinds of people out there. I don't know. There's all kinds of kids. I'm sure there's kids out there that like Soul.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll
ask every kid. See now.
Get them on the street. Do you like Soul? Yeah, back to this stemmed from Halloween. Do you ever really do Halloween stuff?
Yeah, like I like hanging out with people. I'm always playing a character in some form. So when it's a day where everybody's sort of doing that, it's like, oh, I feel at home.
Okay. Are you a festive person? You like like Christmas and
I like the whole gathering aspect of it.
Yeah.
Getting people together under a different circumstance, because oftentimes you can't do like costume parties throughout the year. You can try,
yeah, you can do you can't have it themed as like Halloween, but you can do so like in December last year I went to an Eyes Wide Shut themed. It was an event, it wasn't a party, but you were encouraged to dress up and masquerade, and 90% of the people there were dressed as masquerade, and it's at Christmas time. So you can have a costume party whenever. I don't know if I talked about that on here before, but that was a pretty cool night. Went at the Hollywood Theater, I think is what it was called. Just Hollywood Theater. And it's like an old theater. It still has the same look inside from back in whenever the heyday was. And like even the bathrooms were like, it reminded me of like of Grand Central Station a little bit. Yeah. You know, like everything's just like old style, like the plumbing and like the sinks, everything was old. And Yeah, that was a fun costume party, and I got dressed up. A lot of the costumes, people had like capes and like, like masquerade style stuff. I just wore a suit and had an eye mask on, because I wasn't gonna wear a fucking cape. That's not me. Yeah, you can throw a costume party whenever you want.
Yeah,
you don't need anyone to tell you no.
If you did, what would it be about? What's the theme?
The costume?
Yeah.
If I were to throw a costume, what would the theme be? I don't know.
Because I went to a party once that was specifically had to dress up as a character from a movie, like just one specific movie, and it was what was it called again? Blanking on the name, but I like those kind of parties where like you're there just for that one kind of thing, because then you see how many people like dress up as a certain character.
Yeah,
you see like, oh, everybody liked that one.
Well, so then a party where someone can tell who you are, like you go there as the Joker, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that kind of party?
Yeah, where it's like,
like the
everybody
theme.
dress up as a villain.
Okay. Well, like the theme is
Yeah.
Batman, so everyone looks like somebody from Batman, and it's okay if there's duplicate costumes. We're all here to
Just try to be unique.
Yeah, I guess that is a little different, a themed party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
your themed party? BDSM. Everybody show up like that. That might be a fun party to go to. Just like, we're not here to perform the acts, but we're here to look like we perform the acts.
But what if?
And then that will lead to us performing the acts.
Jeez.
A little wink at your guests.
If you're into it, sure.
If you're not into it, at least you're on theme with the look.
Thanks for being on.
There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. You don't have to go up there, but if you feel the need, they all have locks on the doors. So.
Oh God.
Okay, we're getting kind of near the end here, but there was something I wanted to ask you about. It's about pet peeves. Because, as you know, myself, very crotchety, and I hate a lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot of things that other people specifically do. So, I'd like to hear your top 3.
My top 3 lately.
Peeves.
The number 1 pet peeve I have is people posting too much info on Instagram stories.
Give me an example.
Okay. Like I could pull one up even.
Actually, before we get into pet peeves, gotta get a beer going. All right, go ahead.
It's like, first of all, like an Instagram story is supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be just, this pops up and it's like, oh, okay, like you're at the beach.
Yes.
Okay, you're at a comedy club.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like something that looks like do you see that?
Yeah.
Like, it's all the text. Yes. All this text.
You're like, you have to hold your thumb.
Yeah, you have to hold it. If I have to hold it, like it better be funny.
Start a page, like a newsletter style page, if you really want to get your thoughts out like that.
Do a blog. Do something else.
Yeah, blog. That's what I'm looking for.
The last slide was literally how I felt about it.
Oh, God.
With that said, I've known. I learned a lot.
Oh, God. Okay.
I'm forever thankful. I forget. Cheers.
You're actually reading the whole thing.
I
would not do that. I would
skip
it. Piggybacking off of that, it's not when I can add this to the list of my pet peeves. If somebody is posting Instagram stories and there's like 20 stories where like you go to
when the line is
are like
dot,
that big, and you're like, oh my God, like you're posting every 20 minutes. I just skip the whole. I just swipe past them.
There's
like,
no way.
What are you doing? Like, why are you constantly just like
the whole
and it's
time?
always stupid shit too.
That's a problem with our generation.
Yeah,
like us and younger.
Yeah, it's like
that's an us thing.
I think for me, I'll have maybe max like 5 a day, and that's rare.
Yeah, and
it's usually just memes or something funny. It's not anything to do with my life. It's just funny shit.
It better be good. But like, honestly, do you think I'm gonna sit through all this? Number one, you must think that I like you that much. I might not.
I don't know.
And then number 2, it's like, I don't even know where I could be to where I would post that often.
Yeah.
And usually it's concerts. Concerts, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. After like 2 taps.
Yeah.
2 taps. Oh, okay, you're at like a Machine Gun Kelly. Okay.
No, okay.
Okay.
Before you go on, that also, I can't fucking stand. If someone's at a show and they're just like recording the show as their stories,
whole
it's like,
time.
Do you think that's the same experience as us being there? You're trying to just show us the show? It's not.
No.
Hearing it through a phone and you're shaking around, it's like, well, who's this for?
Mm-hmm.
For us to know that you're at the show. Okay, cool. You're having a good night tonight. You went out to an event, but you can't actually get like, I don't know. It's stupid. Don't do it.
It's stupid. Like they should have rules against it.
I can see like maybe like you take a picture of like, hey, I'm at the show, and then you tag the venue, you tag the artist, whatever. It's like, oh, cool. Clint's at fucking, I don't know. Who do you like? What's the music?
Yeah,
he's at a One Direction show.
I'm at a One Direction concert.
Cool. Look at him.
Getting wasted.
Yeah, just like recording
One Direction concert.
Yeah, off Mountain Dew. Because
Nice.
it's all children at that show.
It should be.
Yeah, fuck those people.
30-year-old women.
Continue though. Sorry, I cut you off.
So yeah, because it gets in that area where it's like, you're talking about like health issues too, or they're like, yeah, like my gallbladder is just giving me so much pain, and I just can't even get up anymore. I gotta go see the doctor again. The doctor says no, I gotta get my blood test. I'm like, I don't need to know all this.
Yeah, I have a friend right now who's in the hospital for gallbladder.
I'm sorry. But
it's also like,
but like, stop.
I can understand the one post about it. It's like the reason I'm not texting you back or whatever, I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, prayers, thoughts.
Yeah. Well, let's just say thoughts. The prayers you can leave out.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't do anything. Neither does thoughts either, but what the fuck?
Prayers, thought. That's the idea of it, is the first post.
Yeah.
Oh, like I want people to be thinking about me. Maybe like some kind of juju mojo, God spirit. What's something could just send over some good vibes
healing
to you.
energies.
Some healing energy. It's like, okay, I'll take that. Okay.
But it's like a weird balance too, because also I feel like I would never post if I was in the hospital. It's like, what am I trying to get at? Like, everyone feels sorry for me because I'm hurt. Yeah. It's like, ooh, it's a bad look.
Just recover and
just like
get
the
back
wave of
at
like
it.
sympathy.
Yeah.
I'd be like, fucking puke. Like, don't do that.
I can't do that. I guess another pet peeve. I was watching this show, Indian Matchmaking.
Oh God.
And
your pet peeve is Indians.
No,
Go.
no, I love them. I want to be matched with them, but I can't because I'm not Hindu.
Is that a requirement?
Well, some of them. So it's
the religious ones want the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So remember this woman named Sumi from Dubai is how she introduces herself. She's Sumi from Dubai.
She has the accent?
Yes, it's great. I love it.
Don't do the accent.
I love her accent. I love it. Sumi from Dubai. And so she helps people who are either like in India or in America, specifically like those two areas.
Right.
And she'll like meet with them, and these people like they have like not issues. There's somewhere it's like, oh, this woman's 30 and she has her life made. She has like a really good job where she works with hospitals and she has her own place and she can afford all this stuff. I mean,
successful Hindi woman
by herself, like independent.
Yeah. How old is she?
30.
Oh, okay.
So
she has all that at 30?
Yeah, she lives in South Carolina.
But she's from Dubai. Too. She left Dubai to go to South Carolina?
The people on this show, they're either like their family's from India or they're living in India.
And she's which one?
She's in South Carolina.
So
her family's from India.
And she made the trip to South Carolina?
Yeah. I think her family did. Her parents before. So she's in South Carolina, has this life.
So she's from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Her parents.
She was born in South Carolina.
Got it.
I think so. That's the other thing. Like, who gets to be? No. That's how you know too. Like,
you said
no
Sumi
accent.
from Dubai.
No, Sumi from Dubai is from India. She has the accent.
Yeah. You're talking about somebody else?
Yeah. So Sumi is an older woman. She's not 30. Sumi from Dubai is the matchmaker. She's the matchmaker matching the people up. Sumi from Dubai, she helps either people who live in India or Indian descent people who are living in America.
Yes.
So this woman,
that makes more sense.
I don't remember all their names. I didn't write them down. but she's 30. She has her life together, and she has this like list of stuff. And Sumi from Dubai is like
the matchmaker.
Yeah, the matchmaker, which is why I did the voice. But then you're like, don't do the voice. So I'm not going to do the voice, but it got you confused.
Yeah, I thought Sumi was the 30-year-old.
No.
Okay.
People with no accents, America. But I love the accent. Okay. Anyways, so she's like, hey, you're going to have to like go with like 60% of this list. Because her list is like, it's one of those silly lists where it's like, I want someone who's tall, who's probably a doctor, who does the same religion as me, does this, and that. It's like,
the flawed way of trying to get in a relationship. Got it.
But then my pet peeve is that these people...
How big is the list first? Sorry. Is it like
her list was big. Huge list? Her list was big. There's some people on the show, like, they're chill. Like this one cool guy, he was a doctor, and he had like a simple list. Like, oh, I want someone who like works well with my family. Like, maybe they like to cook. I don't want to cook all the time, but I'd cook with you.
Okay.
Like a chill guy. And so they have some lists like that.
Got it.
And so you could tell that like, oh, you're getting matched to like, not like to find somebody to date. It shouldn't be like this, like, oh, we're just buddies now.
Yeah.
Like you should be going into this like, okay, like we're on this date. I got to like make a move. And my pet peeve is that like some of the people on the show, like they're on this dating thing, but they're like not like going that extra mile. I'm like, you can't just be like, hey, we're buddies, like hanging out. You got to make a move. I'm just mad when like they don't make a move. But then I'm also like, I don't think I understand the culture enough because like, are they allowed to kiss? Are they allowed to like hold hands? No idea. I don't know.
I feel like those Eastern cultures are a little more strict about that kind of stuff.
Because they're very much like get married and then fall in love, which is
so weird. It's more of like a task.
Yeah.
And you just like, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. That I could see that being a thing over there. And
it's honestly getting matched kind of seems appealing.
Maybe you should apply to be on Indian Matchmaker.
I can't be on Indian Matchmaker.
You just said that they don't all require the person to be Hindi.
But it's very like
non-whites.
Very non-whites. Okay. You can't even get matched with the whites. I'm like, because a lot of the lists.
I want someone who can cook. I want someone who cleans. I want someone who's successful. I want someone who has a nice car. I want someone who's good with kids. I want someone who can clean the fucking whatever. But they can't be white.
Yeah.
That's the deal breaker.
That's kind of it. That's why I'm so pissed.
They could be a gorgeous, good-looking guy, fit, great calves, but he's white.
And he could also be the same religion too. He could be Sikh. I don't know how that works. I don't know if they even let the white guys in to be in Sikh. I don't know. But like,
what if you converted somehow?
For some of these women, maybe.
Do they allow non-whites to convert into that religion? They must do that.
I think the only one that's like
the progressive organizations must do that. They just want people to come
Religion's not that progressive.
Some of them are. They're not the popular ones, but some of them are like, yeah, we just need people to come in here and like fill out the numbers.
Yeah, so that's my other pet peeve. Like I'm watching the list scroll down and I'm like it's also like you're not going to get a good list because you're like also discriminating against like all these other people.
Right. It's because of this whole one trait. You take them out of the list. Yeah. But they have all the qualities you want.
They have everything, but they're black. They're Asian. They're not the right kind of Hindi. It's like
all skin color. That's the deal breaker. No, well, it's the skin colors.
Well, it's religion, I guess. But I don't see a white guy being Hindi.
Well, you could be the first.
Unless it's me. To like match with some of these women, but I don't know the prereqs. Like everyone's a doctor on the show too.
Yeah, well, you could be the first non-doctor, non-Hindi on the show. And I don't know. Maybe it'll work out. Email Sima
Sumi from Dubai.
Simu's the guy from fucking Shang-Chi. Email
Simu. I'll email Simu too.
Yeah.
Be like, hey man, like, what's the deal with people?
Yeah, what's the deal with I don't know.
He'll be like, I'm not Hindi.
I was going to say something bad.
He's like, what are you talking about?
And on that note, this is a good place to stop for today. Thank you for listening, everybody. This is another successful episode of the 30s. You can find us on the socials. I'm on Instagram at Uncle Marcus, 2 underscores.
2 underscores.
Uncle, 2 underscores, Marcus. The link's on the YouTube if you watch the YouTube. And Clint, where can they find you?
At the Clinton Show Instagram, Twitter. I have a TikTok, but
I have a Twitter too, but I don't really. You won't find me doing anything on there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make TikToks.
I'm not gonna do that.
Unless I just put clips of this. I don't know.
Maybe we could try it. Maybe we could try it, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on all the things. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Whatever. Who cares? Fuck it. We're on all the things. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye. Goodbye.